It's not permanent. It's different. It's not permanent. And it may trick you. Because if it's not permanent, it's not dealing with character, then it's dealing with emotions. It's dealing with feelings. So we have the word like ghadiba. Well, atisha. Ghadiba, I'm angry. Atisha, I'm thirsty. Hazina, I'm sad. Fariha, I'm happy. It goes and it comes. That's what I know about every time I think of a word that's on the scale of fa'ila. And we're not going to get into it too deep. I just wanted to touch on that as a preview to answer that question. Does that answer your question? Do you need another example? Okay. You sure? Okay. Give me this thing right here. Okay, we're going to go over master letters right quick. Everybody recite to me the beginning of master letters. Too much hesitation? That's right. Recite to me the beginning of the word, of the poem. You know, the thing about it, let me tell you a story. Hold on for a second. And I'm not telling this story to point, you know, home videos and stuff like that. But, you know, the Muslim, the talib al-ilm, he has to be sharp. He got to be about it. And it ain't being about it by being tough and all this stuff like that. It's by being, what are y'all doing? Yeah, he's always aware. Oh. Fadl. Don't step on my books, guys. المسلم كيس فتن متحرك ليس متقوقعا بليد الذهن كسلان البدن. We're going to go over this till it becomes second nature. The Muslim, he ain't lazy-bodied, dull-witted, and none of this stuff like that. He's ready to get on to it, you know? And that's what you have to be ready to do. So, and that's only through paying close attention and being ready. Attention to what? Details. Paying attention to those details. Like those things that under those words. So, unless you want, and see, and the thing about here being in America, the difference is, again, we're talking about minhaj in a lesson. When you go overseas, if you're in the real lessons with the different scholars, sit down. If you play games, you waste your time, they kick you out their house. Period, go. They got no time to waste. But here in America, you know, I'm coming, you know, to the masjid to give the classes, and if you kicked anybody out, they never come back. You wouldn't have nobody in the classroom because people don't take it serious at all. You know, so we have to say if we're going to make it different from that, then we have to be different from that. Right? Okay, so recite the beginning part of master letters. What's Basmala, Alhamdulillah?
Blessings on the Prophet. I have my say with you today upon all the graphics.
Descriptions of their numerals, points of articulation, as each one comes and as it does.
It has its own sensation.
Okay, so this was the beginning of that. What does that mean? What did that come from? What's being told in that beginning part? Because remember, these poems are put here so you can memorize, but there are points to the poem, right? As somebody who is, you know, adlun dabitun. This is what you want to become at the end. You want to become adlun dabitun. And the adlun is a just person. Dabit, he is precise. In his hifdhihi wa naqlihi, meaning he's good at preserving what he has learned. Listen to the point. While you get tested and you get, you know, zajr, you get censored. Because at the end of your whole lesson career, your career as a talib al-ilm, someone's going to say, he is not dabit. He ain't got precision in memorizing, preserving, and passing on what he learned. So you can't go to him for nothing. You can't take anything from him because he is like a swamp. Why? Because the knowledge has been described as 3 types of waters. The worst of them is the swamp. You can't make wudu out of it, you can't drink out of it, and it don't benefit nothing. So you want to be like the pure rain that comes down and everybody can drink from it and it irrigates the land. So this is how do you do that? You become very critical. You become very sharp in your preserving, memorizing, and passing it on. If you can't pass it on to me, how can you pass it on to somebody who don't know no better? Right? Somebody sees you and say, yo, look, man, you've been studying Arabic. That's right, I've been studying Arabic. Ask me away. They ask you, what does the word Arab mean? You know, it means, you know, Arabic is the language, you know. And you start making stuff up if you get embarrassed, you know. So don't do that. Preserve it. Now, what are we learning from this poem? It says, wa basmillah and alhamdulillah. What does that mean? What's the first thing we learned? We said that Arabs love what? Abbreviation. The Arabs love abbreviation. They love abbreviation. So the Basmala and Alhamdulillah, these are kinayatan or abbreviations or kunyas of what? Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. So we learn again the minhaj of darasa, the style of studying is that we start off with the Basmala wa salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Right? We start off with the Basmala and the Alhamdulillah, and then we send what? We send blessings on the Prophet. Right? So I have my way with you today concerning orthographics. What is orthographics?
Big word for alphabet.
Right, it's a big word for alphabet. But what does it mean? We say ortho
And then graphic.
and then graphic.
From the mouth.
So ortho is from the mouth, right?
Sound from the mouth.
And graphic is a picture.
Picture, visual.
So it's a visual of what you pronounce, the sounds that you make out your mouth, right?
Okay.
So that's what we would call the alphabet, right? This is what we're coming out. So then this word we said is atful bayan, what comes after it. What comes after it is like you say, today I'm going to have my say with you concerning orthographics. Now I said orthographics, right? But that's like, and then after it says descriptions of. It says descriptions of orthographics. Their numerals, the numerals concerning the orthographics, the points of articulation. So it says points of articulation. What are the 2 points of articulation? The first one deals with the makhraj, right? And the other one deals with the tajweed rule, right? So you guys got to know that. This, when it says points of articulation, how you articulate or enunciate or pronounce that letter by itself, that's what we call it the makhraj, and when it is mixed up. Just the same thing like nahwu wa sarf. Infiradihi wa ba'da fi jumla or kalima. By itself and when it's in a word. Surrounded by other words. And we can use the example of alif wal lam, which everybody knows. You say al-alamin, right? Al-amin, I shouldn't say al-alamin. Al-amin, and then we say ar-rahman. We don't say al-rahman. So the changes, the articulation changes based on the words in the sentence. And that's what we're going to learn. So descriptions of their numerals and descriptions here is how to write it, right? And how to what? Pronounce it. Okay? So these are the things that we're looking for when we listen to this poem. And that's why the introduction is there, to introduce you, to say to you what your learning objectives are supposed to be, to give you direction throughout the whole, and so then you can think about this poem when you listen to the next poem and say, based on what I'm supposed to be looking for, can I find it? And some things will jump out to you, and some things may not be so clear to you. And those things that are not clear to you, you go to the sheikh or you go to the teacher and say, okay, well, this is what I understood, you know, break it down for me. And then they break it down and you say, okay, now I got it. And you get in the habit of doing that. You get in the habit of doing that, and then people come to you and you help them, and everybody gets on the same sheet of proverbial music. We together? Yes. Okay. Antum la budun taqifu. Today we're dealing with the word kaliman. Everybody say kaliman. Kaliman. What time is the adhan?
8:20.
Okay, we got to hurry up, okay? Everybody say kaliman. Kalman or kalmoon, this word has been used over time in different ways. He's dealing with kaf, lam, mim, noon. Say kaf, lam, mim, noon. These are 4 letters. Even in English it says K-L-M-N, right? Okay, so we're going with lam today. We're doing with what? Lam. It starts off, and remember, here in this poem, he's going to give you some things, some words in Arabic. In English, subhanallah wa bihamdihi. Subhanallah al-azim. He's going to give you words in English that give you the same makhraj.